What is the weirdest NSFW fact you know? Napoleon's penis was removed by the doctor doing the autopsy and preserved. It's been sold and resold to many buyers. It was purchased by a professor of urology at Columbia University in the 70s and passed on to his daughter when he died about 15 years ago. She is the current owner. When the Egyptians conquered what is now Libya, they took 13,000 plus foreskins of the defeated enemy as trophies. If you have the chills but your nuts are hanging low, you have a fever. Can't wait to use this to call in sick to work with a fever. 90% of koalas have chlamydia. As a woman is about to orgasm, the vagina decreases in size by as much as 30%. This contraction helps to increase the sensitivity felt by the woman as she climaxes into the orgasm. Edit. The contractions also enhance the man's pleasure and keeps any discharged sperm into place for potential fertilization as the vagina grips tighter around the penis. Governor Ratcliffe of Pocahontas fame was flayed alive by the Powhatan using mussel shells. They skinned his entire body, saving his face for last. Then he was burned at the stake. The Romans had a plant that was an effective contraceptive but then f'd it out of existence. Breast implants turn into a sticky goo during cremation. Crematorium workers need to clean the goo off the bottom of the furnace after her body has been cremated. The world record for longest distance ejaculated is 18 feet. Horst Schultz. Man also broke the record for fastest ejaculation at 42 miles per hour. Peyronie's disease is a condition where scar tissue forms inside the penis, causing it to be bent when the patient has an erection. It must be painful. Edit. Some curve on the schlong is normal. I remember that the images that were shown to us in class had dongs bending and curving at ridiculous angles. People who get methadone prescribed on the NHS have to drink it in front of the pharmacist to ensure that they aren't going to sell it. However, some addicts will immediately go away and vomit up the methadone for resale. Former smack addicts shared this nugget with me. Not so fun fact. One of my paramedic colleagues went to a patient with a necrotic penis after his friend swallowed their methadone. Went straight outside and vomited the methadone into a cup so he could sell it. The friend who bought it said he ran out of usable veins in his arm and resorted to dosing it straight into the main vein. Addiction is fucked. Ducks have fake decoy vaginas due to the sheer number of duck rapists. Weird NSFW fact. Tickling was once considered an aphrodisiac in the Muscovite palaces and courts for centuries. In fact, both Catherine the Great and Anna Ivanovna were ardent participants. Ticklers sang naughty ballads and told lewd stories whilst tickling their ladies' feet, working their mistresses up into an erotic frenzy with which to meet their husbands or partners. From personal experience, I can say this works with overwhelming results. I can attest after being together a few years with my girlfriend, who loves to hate hates to love it, that nothing gets her in the mood faster. During my mom's pregnancy with me, she was writing an 8-person Buffy the Vampire Slayer orgy fanfic. She warned me that if I was ever caught watching porn, she would make me do a book report on it. Very few things scare me as much as having to read my mom's erotica. Edit. To respond to the two main questions. My mom didn't want me watching porn till I was an adult. And I was never caught, so I never read it or wrote a report. My parents were swingers back in the 70s. I wish I didn't know that. The pH of a healthy human vagina is between 3.8 and 4.5, making it acidic and giving it that tangy taste we all love. And that is why semen is basic in nature. So it may survive in the vaginal tract and giving it that taste we all love. Japanese law requires porn to censor the noof genitals of the actors and actresses, but not the butthole. It's only when a DCK or other phallic object enters the ass does it become censored. If you don't jack off for a prolonged period of time, your semen turns yellow. Cats' penises are weird. They're short and spiky. The explanation for the spikes. Female cats don't ovulate unless they're stimulated by the spikes. This is called induced ovulation. With every thrust of the penis, Female cats produce an egg. Because of this, there can be different fathers in the same litter. IDK about you. But I found it really interesting and kinda weird. A sperm has 37.5 megabytes of DNA info. So one ejaculation transfers 15.875 gigabytes of data. The average number of butthole spokes in American women is 6. 10 spoke buttholes are the holy grail of butthole spokes. Oh, this is going to be the next thing, isn't it? People are going to pay for some kind of surgery so they can get more butthole spokes. A silverback gorilla has a penis the size of your pinky. Someone calculated that based on relative size. King Kong's penis would still fit within a human's vagina. Because of this little detail. The reason guys' piss comes out twisted instead of a smooth stream is because the inside of the penis is rifled. The barrel has spiral grooves to ensure maximum distance and accuracy. In your brain, a man's nerves for his feet and penis are right next to each other. If he were to lose a foot, the brain would reshape the pathways in a process called neuroplasticity. Essentially, this would cause phantom limbs, and whatever he'd feel in his penis he would also feel where his foot once was. And this, my friends, is how it's possible to have an orgasm in your non-existent foot. Running is an excellent laxative. This is why I wake up an hour early, have coffee, and try and get a poop in before I run. Also, my running route doesn't go further than a half mile from home. Just a path of booty anxiety that weaves back and forth through the neighborhood. The human anus can expand up to 8 inches. A raccoon can fit through a hole 4 inches in diameter. If you put a wad of toilet paper in the toilet before you take a dump, it will greatly reduce splashback. Vibrators were invented in the 1880s to relieve muscle pressure. Doctors then noticed if they used the devices on women's genitalia it could treat hysteria. Women left happy. Doctors' wallets got fatter. Blowjob is because it used to be called blowjob and got shortened. When I was 12 and people started talking about blowjobs, I thought you literally blew the penis. Like you put in your mouth and blew it like a balloon. You'd have to spin a 6-inch penis, of average width, at about 130,000 revolutions per minute to get it to set ablaze. Learned that in physics class. Edit. Because this blew up and some people seem concerned. This was in a class of 18s and over, and the teacher didn't explicitly say he was working this out for a DCK but for a cylindrical object after someone brought up a Reddit post they saw about this from ages ago. It was just a minute of banter in the class. Not the topic of the lesson. Mozart wrote pieces called Lick My Ass Right Well and Clean K. 233 and Lick My Ass K. 231. For 6 voices. He also wrote a letter to his cousin. Well, I wish you good night. But first tea in your bed and make it burst. Sleep soundly. My love. Into your mouth your ass you'll shove. Double quote. A lioness will bite the testicles of her mating partner when she is in heat if he can't keep up with her. Edit. Holy crap. Thanks for the silver. May your testicles remain intact. Kind stranger. Close bracket. Olympic Village during the games is basically a massive fuckfest. In 2000, the athletes were provided with a total of 70,000 condoms and they had to order an emergency shipment of more because they ran out. Some species of sea cucumber have evolved to have teeth in their arsehole to keep other sea creatures from living inside their anus. Edit. Wow, my first awards. Thanks. The longest lasting orgasm in mammals is from the domestic pig. It lasts on average for 30 minutes. But can last up to 90 minutes. All women's vaginas are self-cleaning. Only need to use water when having a wash. Also, we produce the same hormone as sharks when our vaginas are cleaning. That babies scream and cry in the womb, but due to amniotic fluid it's silent, so right now millions of babies are crying and screaming silently in fear with lungs full of amniotic fluid. Seamen can ejaculate at up to 25 miles per hour, which makes it illegal to orgasm in a school zone. Cats have a needle in their dicks and it only softens at climax, meaning they are in physical pain when they have sex. The yowling you hear from the female cat is because she is in intense pain. So that makes cats really into BDSM. Sleeping dogs do not like it when you flick their nutsack with your fingernail. Directly stimulating a man's prostate gland is a surefire way to turn him into a whining, yelling, moaning man whore. Dave Matthews Band's tour bus dumped a tank full of 800 pounds of human shitty on a tour boat in the Chicago River in 2004. Rub your perineum after urinating to remove that last drop. Elephant phallus is prehensile. Dog penises have a bone called a speculum. Close bracket. Malcolm Brenner carried on a year-long affair with a dolphin in the 80s. Comma insisted she initiated. Whale milk is the consistency of toothpaste. The human rectum can dilate to the diameter of a basketball. Your $1 bill has been in an average of 3 bras, panties, jockstraps. Tesla made a vibrating plate and encouraged Samuel Clemens onto it. Unbeknown to Clemens, the plate was designed to resonate at a specific frequency that would make anyone on it shitty themselves. Clemens in his trademark white suit only made it off into the can in time. The lowly barnacle has the largest known penis to body length ratio, up to 8x, in the animal kingdom. Some ancient peoples believed they were gifted with a finite amount of sperm across their entire species. Meaning when boys came of age they would have to drink their father's sperm to pass it down. Cornflakes were originally meant to stop guys from masturbating. Edit. Grammar and fact checking. The anus is the only muscle in the human body that can tell the difference between a liquid, a solid and a gas. The more promiscuous the females of a species are, the larger the average testicle size of the males is. Because the more likely one sperm is to find itself inside of a female at the same time as another male's sperm, the more evolution will favor males whose sperm outnumber the opposition. Therefore, gorillas have tiny balls because only the dominant male in a troop mates. Whereas chimp balls are huge because their fertile females mate with every male one after another. Human balls are intermediate between the two because we're nominally monogamous with some degree of cheating. That it is scientifically proven that humans have stronger orgasm if they wear socks. Edit. For those of you looking for sources, it was the University of Groningen socks study, though not fully proving the fact. I mainly did it for the meme. If you are insulted by the fact 'tis a shitty post, get bent. The idea of a witch riding a broom originated from a small group of sexually liberal people in Germany in the 1600s who came to believe that salt caused men and women to become more aroused. Men would be fed it and sometimes have it sprinkled on their bodies. Women would take a long glass rod and dip it into a salt brine and then slide it against their labia before sex. Puritans who had more political power eventually claimed these sexual practices to be witchcraft. The laughing witch riding a broomstick in the night is what has evolved in a 400-year game of telephone. Edit. Although this is a cool story, I'm learning it's probably not true. In the comments you'll find better info from an actual historian. I'll go back to walking dogs and misinterpreting history books. Sorry Reddit.